Hello, everybody. A wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you are. Great to see you again. Great to be back here. Let's just see a few people are live, so that's amazing. My apologies for starting 30 seconds late or a minute or something like that. I just realized that somewhere in the back was something that was in the way and looked odd. So I had to do a little bit of tidying here. It's so wonderful seeing you all again. I'm just going to switch to the comments and see who is there. That's just so wonderful. London, United States, Germany. It's really lovely. It was probably a bit short notice, and a few people probably wondered where I was hiding and whether I would come back out of hiding again after the last 2 weeks. But I just needed some time. Let's call it a mini sabbatical that I had. It was my last 2 weeks in the USA, and there was just so much going on, so much new things, so many experiences, so many people I met, and I just really needed the time to reflect. And last Tuesday I was on my way home, so it just didn't work practically as well. It's just fabulous seeing you all here. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining. And thank you for your understanding to give me some time off. I try to do that as rarely as possible, but sometimes you just have to lean back and take a little bit of time for yourself. I didn't just do that with the show. I also did that with my emails. So I know, and looking at the names already, I see that there are a few people who have sent emails recently or not so recently, and I haven't replied to them as yet. So I will over the next few days, now that I'm kind of back in the rhythm here. At the moment in Berlin, so this is the background where I'm staying at the moment, and then quite excitingly, I will be going back to the USA for a few more weeks. There is some kind of unfinished business. I started with an idea, or in fact, it kind of developed into a pretty concrete concept and idea that I was working on in the States, and now I kind of need to bring it together, and then I will be back in Europe. And of course, absolutely for the master course, which I'm so looking forward to, which is happening in London from 11th to 15th of September. And should you be in London, there is a lot going on at the Reiki Academy in London, new workshops, and there is a bit of more drive, it seems, at the moment. So there are more people being interested in Reiki again. So it seems that we well and truly left COVID behind, which is amazing. Let me just see if there's any more comments. No, I don't think there is. Something that is particularly important at the moment. So yes, America was very, very interesting. And it did confirm a bit my experience from when I was there for a longer period 2 years ago, that there was a lot of separation. There is, I don't know if it's more or if it's simply more obvious, more vocal than in other countries I regularly visit. But it's very, very interesting along the lines of gender, of especially politics, of religion, of rich and poor. It's almost as if people are looking to find a niche in order to say, I am different. And of course, it's perfectly fine to be different. It also gives us a sense of individuality, which is important and helpful. And of course, we are all different. So this is all very normal. But does difference need to lead to antagonism, to anger, to fear, to cutting people out of your life? It's very, very interesting, and I think that is the most important issue in the world that we really need to work on, to accept that we are individual, that we all have amazing and amazingly different personalities, and yet we are also connected. We are humans. We are incarnated souls inhabiting this planet at the same time, and this is not a coincidence. So there is a very deep reason behind that, and today's topic is trying to address that. Because what would happen if we, and I don't mean that in a way of like blaming us individually, but what if we acted towards other people with more respect? How can we find more respect? And it's very interesting. When I thought about the topic for today, this is the topic that actually came up. And I first wanted to kind of put it together with another topic or a few more ideas, but it was made very clear that this should be a standalone thing. When I grew up, often people would say, this is a person that commands respect, or it's a respected member of this or that organization, society, family, whatever. So respect is something that it sounded or used to sound to me quite old-fashioned. And with the Me Too movement and with the Black Lives Matter movement, it suddenly became something very, very now. It was all about people not being respected and demanding respect. And so today it's now it's a very, very important subject. And I was wondering how we, or how I, so this is normally how I start. I just wonder, so how do I use this phrase? Is that in my consciousness? Is that in my active vocabulary? Do I use the word respect? Do I respect people? Do I show people that I respect them? It's really interesting. It's a lot of questions that were going through my mind. And I realized that there's work to do, both for myself and I think in society. But at some stage, I was trying to word it differently and asked myself the question, do you actually respect yourself? And I suddenly thought, wow, this is so interesting. It never occurred to me before to pose that question. Do you respect yourself? I would actually like to ask you to ask that yourself. Do I respect myself? So what does respect mean? It's very difficult to use a word without really a definition. And thinking about that, I failed to look that up on Wikipedia before, which would have been interesting, I suppose. Actually, I think this is going to be great fun. I'm going to just go to Wikipedia. Why can't I find Wikipedia? Now I can find it, and I just type in respect. So, respect, also called esteem, is a positive feeling or action shown towards someone or something considered important or held in high esteem or regard. That's quite complicated. It conveys a sense of admiration for good or valuable qualities. It is also the process of honoring someone by exhibiting care, concern, or consideration for their needs and feelings. That's very interesting. So it conveys a sense of admiration for good or valuable qualities. So I respect you because I think you have valuable qualities. You are kind, you are intelligent, you are successful, I don't know, whatever, something like that. So, do I really respect you as a person? Or do I respect you because you are in a certain way? You behave in a certain way. And of course, that may command respect as well, to hold your posture, to keep your balance even in difficult situations, to act with calm and consideration. But does respect really mean we respect somebody because they are performing in a certain way that we like? Shouldn't we respect somebody because they are a human being? Because they are a being? Because they are a soul? Because they are a divine creation? And they're connected to the universe just as much as we are. So shouldn't we just respect somebody for just being that, being a soul? And I think then it becomes a bit easier to use the word respect and to respect ourselves. But of course, we also do things, and we deal with things in certain ways. And we may have different opinions, but that is a particular person's way of dealing with that. So even though it may be different from what we would have done, we need to give them respect because that's what they feel is right. And even though we may not share it, we need to respect that. We make mistakes. Does that mean we cannot be respected and we cannot respect ourselves? So to respect somebody, I think needs to the a certain acceptance that we can have failures, we can have do really big wrong things, and yet behind that is a human being. Behind that is somebody trying. And maybe not trying hard enough. So we may want to put that in some considered words, but still they command respect because they are a human being, they are on this planet at the same time they are incarnated souls. And I would like to do a little exercise to start with and to find self-respect. Um, let's just try to ask Reiki to help us with this exercise. It's really, I'm kind of being guided. I'm following. You can probably see that I'm very much kind of in a zone at the moment, and follow what I feel is right and should be said. So let's just give that a try. So just for a moment, close your eyes and connect to Reiki and just feel the connection. If you haven't learned Reiki, just set your intention to connect to higher levels of guidance in the universe. And then ask Reiki to help you feel respect for yourself. You may find that you are given an idea of a situation where you've done the right thing, something quite special. You may find that something comes into your mind that where you feel you could have acted better, but you tried and you learn from it and you acknowledge that. So you can respect yourself for that as well. And just ask Reiki to help you to feel respect for this extraordinary being that you are. Made out of billions of cells, with a body, with organs, with a mind, with a heart. You are an incredible creature that commands respect. And just feel that, just listen inside for a moment and sense how you feel respecting yourself. And then just ideally say out loud if you can. Otherwise, just say that internally. I respect myself. And then thank Reiki for the guidance and just come back into the here and now. I had a very interesting conversation with a gentleman yesterday who is an astrophysicist, used to be a university professor. And he said he has got so much respect for nature, for the intricacies, for technology, for all the achievements of humankind. And I thought, what an interesting idea. He actually said something like, we just use our mobile phone and we take it for granted. And if it doesn't work, we take it back to the store and then it's being repaired. But the amount of intelligence, of thoughtfulness, of hundreds of years of intellectual and scientific development that went into these little devices is just incredible. It really commands respect. So when we use a phone with respect, we may deal with that in a different way. We may send less abusive messages or something like that. When we look at nature, how nature is designed, do we really feel the respect? Do we feel the awe about what's all around? And of course, with other people, do we really respect other people who are weird, who are different, who come from a different culture, haven't had the same upbringing? Do we respect them for their developments? Do we respect them for how they deal with challenges? Or how they just somehow survive life? Don't we all? Haven't we all had really, really difficult experiences? So don't people deserve respect for having come out the other side, still being there, still facing life, having learned from it, changing? Doesn't change command respect for being so brave to change your mind, to change your career, to change your attitudes, to develop your understanding. That means we're not stuck. So I think it's really interesting when we look at the idea of respect and how it can start a whole thought process. I often do an exercise in my workshops where I try to ask people to use the connection symbol, use Reiki to connect with somebody and to understand where they are coming from. But I would like to do things slightly differently today. I would like to think of I would like to ask you to think of one particular person who you may struggle with. Doesn't have to be a disastrous struggle, but there are aspects, and it's probably with most people, where you feel, I'm not entirely certain why they're doing this. I just don't understand that. Um, they're so different. You may disagree with what they do. You may really dislike what they do. And I would like to ask you to just use Reiki for help once more. And close your eyes and connect to Reiki. And think of that very person. Or if you can't come up with somebody, just ask Reiki to help you to come up with one person for this exercise to think of. And then ask Reiki to respect them, to feel a deep inner respect for that person, and just see what it does to you and what comes into your mind. And then either aloud or silently, just say, I respect that person. And now just ponder in your mind and let Reiki help you to imagine how it will be different next day you see this person or you meet another person and start a conversation or connection from the point of I respect you. And then just thank Reiki for the guidance and once more come back into the here and now. It's very interesting to look at the comments. And there was the question, how can you respect an abusive person? Well, there are many levels of abuse. And the deeper, the more, well, the more abusive it gets, of course, the more difficult it does get. But in every person is a soul. And on this planet, in this life, they may be outrageously misguided. Through childhood, through experiences, through traumatic traumas they had, through whatever, through fear, through anger. Um, and they find it difficult to control themselves. And so they let it out on somebody else and abuse them in, well, I mean, it's just incredible the amount of abuse people are people are capable of. It's just unbelievable. And yet, beyond that is a soul. So, is it possible to feel respect for the person behind, but not for their actions? Is it possible to feel respect that the person must have had real struggles in their lives so that they developed into this persona they are now? But that's not the real persona, it is what they are right now. And I don't want to belittle it in any way. I'm very well aware of what horrors are possible in this world. But I feel, no, I wonder, is it still possible to treat somebody with respect for who they really are and not who they act as? And I'm just putting it out there. I entirely accept and respect if this is not possible, having had certain experiences with a person, but I'm just putting it out there as a potential. It may be that this is also a way to deal with a situation. I find it very interesting to um, think of not just people, but also of cultures. And often we feel quite strange when we are confronted with a very different culture. And I tend to find, at least initially, we kind of look down a little bit at people, at cultures. It's not our standard. They do things in a very different way. It's whatever the differences are. But it is their culture. It's a long centuries, millennia possibly culture. It is a whole group of people that have been raised in that culture. It may well be that they have been plucked out and put in different cultures, and yet they feel only whole if they are kind of reconnecting and keep parts of their culture in their everyday life. And we wonder, oh, that's very strange how they dress, how they speak, how they eat. But it's a cultural thing. So do we respect that? Once more, I would like to do a little exercise and ask you to think of a culture, of a group, of a nation, of whatever comes into your mind, a particular group that you think that's different. And once more, just close your eyes and bring your hands together and connect to Reiki. And ask Reiki to help you to respect this culture and the person or people you know who are connected with this culture. And just really take a moment to let that sink in and let Reiki help you to feel a deep respect for them. And once more, thank Reiki for the guidance and come back into the here and now. So that was interesting. That was actually slightly different from what I thought it would go. So I suppose I have to respect that and just accept this is what it is. Acceptance, respect, and ultimately love are connected. Love is cutting through to the truth, to the real being. Respect is I respect you in your way, your attitudes and your differences, and accept highest. I accept that you are there and that we are connected. It's just fascinating. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for your suggestions and your comments. I think that's pretty much what I wanted or what I'm supposed to bring across today. I'm working on taking the weekly show a little bit further as well, and being a little bit clearer about certain concepts and exercises, and again having more guests as well. But I tend to find we need kind of an anchor for every show, and this is more kind of going in this direction to follow one particular topic and just kind of explore this and go deeper and see how that resonates. And of course, on different times, things may resonate slightly differently. I was already drawn to repeating some subjects that we covered last year in kind of slightly different ways. So it's just very interesting where things go, and it's very interesting where the world goes. So there are some very, very big topics, issues, difficulties, challenges at the moment. And we will be looking at those in the future as well, and try to see them from a Reiki angle, but also try to explore how we individually can bring change, can do something. And this is very much what I'm trying with the project I'm working on in America at the moment. And if that all, and I do believe it's going to work out, then it will be a very, very different way to reach many, many, many more people with what Reiki really is all about: experience. Experience of love, experience of connection, experience of spirituality, very, very tangibly so, and of course, experience of healing as well. And this is what we do every Tuesday, also having a Reiki share. So I'm so, so pleased that we can now connect for this Reiki share again. If you struggle with a certain challenge, whether it's health, whether it's mental health, whether it is to do with relationships, with career, with anything, just ask Reiki, set your intention when you connect to Reiki that this Reiki healing with so many people involved will help with this problem. So when you're ready, just once more, bring your hands together and connect or reconnect to Reiki. And then if you've learned the connection symbol, just take a moment to draw the symbol. And just set your intention then to connect with everybody on this Reiki share. Everybody who is here live right now, and everybody who will join at a later stage. And just feel the connection with everybody. At the same time, feel your connection to Reiki. And then also feel that you are receiving Reiki from everybody right now. Everybody who is here live and everybody who will join a replay at a later stage. This is quantum physics. It's all connected. There is no time. There is no space. And then just lean back and be in this flow of Reiki. Set your intention that Reiki may help you with a or several potential struggles you are dealing with at present. There's nothing you need to do. Reiki is flowing through you, and Reiki is flowing through everybody towards you. And just once more, take a moment to really feel the connection with Reiki, feel the energy. And of course, it continues to work in your body, in your mind, even after this treatment. So when you're ready, just bring your hands once more together. Take a moment to thank Reiki, and then come back into the here and now. That was quite deep. I don't know. I still feel I'm somewhere else. Sometimes in my Reiki courses, I do this kind of dry brushing, going along the body, just to be fully in your body again after you give a Reiki treatment. And I think this is just what I needed. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your comments. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Same time and same location, I suppose. I'll still be here. And I'm not sure what the topic will be, but I'm sure something quite interesting will be coming. I've got the feeling it's something that is very now, very, very, very contemporary. So let's see how that works. But I'm just going to listen to the intuition, and I look forward to seeing you again. I will send another little reminder in newsletter and more information about what else is going on. And should you be in London, we also have a Reiki refresher workshop at the Reiki Science Academy on Sunday, the I think 9th of July, which you can find on the website. So if you've kind of didn't do a lot of Reiki recently, maybe use a little bit for yourself, but not so much on other people, and you feel you need a bit of like a booster day, then this is exactly what this is for you. So just have a look at the website, reikiscienceacademy.com. And thank you for your thank yous. Thank you for saying hello. It's just really, really lovely. And let me just see. There was a question. Oh, that's an interesting question. Towards the end, I got of the Reiki share. I got the intuition to put my hands where I need healing, and it was very strong. Is that okay? An okay thing to do in a Reiki share? Absolutely. It's not a physical Reiki share. So if you feel guided to placing your hands on a certain area of your body that needs healing, then absolutely, it will still, by pure intention, flow to everybody else as well. So once more, great. Oh, it's so nice to be back. Great seeing you again. Great being here. See you next week. And until then, have a really, really wonderful week. A lovely rest of the day. And if there are any questions, if there are any suggestions for topics in the future, then please let me know. And I just need to once more find the button that I have to press to give that a professional ending. And here we go. So goodbye.